Hello everyone, I'm Lê Hoàng Phúc, currently in my junior year as an English Linguistics student at Sai Gon University. Last week, I got a chance to went on my second field trip in my tenure as a college student to Central Vietnam and the Central Highlands. In this vlog, I will show you my experience throughout the trip as well as showing you some of the photographs that I took during the whole field trip. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into it. On the first day of the trip, we started our journey from our main campus in District 5, Ho Chi Minh City. Can you guess where we were going to by looking at this? That's right, we were heading to Nha Trang, a very popular coastal city in southern Vietnam. In the afternoon, our class stopped by a beachside restaurant to have lunch. The food there was okay, but as a person who loves photography, I couldn't resist the temptation to finish my lunch fast and went outside to take some photos. The beach here has a stunning emerald color scheme, so it was one of the rare times that I got to see a beach that looked so unique like this one. Here are some photos that I took at the place. Then we continued our journey to Nha Trang. We arrived at the hotel around 2 p.m, but the hall was so crowded I couldn't show you guys how the hotel looked because it looked marvelous. Heading to day 2, I had my usual breakfast, and we visited our first destination in Nha Trang, Hong Kong Promontory. Before we got to the main attraction, we had a privilege to sit down and watch a performance of ethnic musical instruments. I was totally blown away by how ethnic people can use some of the most unusual things and somehow made it into musical instruments, and at the same time sound so soothing to the ears. After we got to experience a very captivating performance from the artist, we moved to the back of the musical house and visited Hong Kong Promontory. It was truly a wonderful sight, as I have never seen any rocks this big laying on top of each other this much before, so this was a remarkable experience for me. The beach here was very stunning as the sun gliding down the sea surface, making it shine and had a glittery effects, like stars in the sky. I took some efforts to go up and down the place to take some photos of this place. Leaving Nha Trang, we jumped back to our bus and headed to probably one of my favorite destinations from the trip, and that is Eo Ya, Quy Nhơn. Upon arriving, besides having to walk uphill for about 15 minutes, I was very astonished by the beauty of the beach. I was very lucky to get to go here when the weather was sunny and not so cloudy. Exactly like the name suggests, the place was windy as our tour guide said that this specific day, the wind was much weaker than usual, so I couldn't comprehend how it would feel like to have the normal wind speed blowing full force into my face. Even if the wind was weaker than usual, the tides were striking the shores with brute forces, making it quite difficult for me to take photos of the place. But yet, I still managed to get some shots, so here they are. leaving Quy Nhơn, we moved to a up-and-coming rising city in Vietnam, Da Nang City. The next day, we got a chance to hear the hotel manager to briefly introduce us to the facilities of the Royal Lotus Hotel, which, in my opinion, was one of the best hotels I've ever been in. In the afternoon, we left the hotel and moved to a historical place that attracted a lot of domestic and international tourists, Hoi An Asian Town. Upon arriving, I was completely engulfed in the beauty of the architecture of the city. Numerous old houses has existed for well over 1,000 years, and the nighttime of the town was so beautiful I couldn't believe that everything I was seeing in front of my eyes were real.
Hello everyone, currently I'm in Hoi An Asian Town and this is my first visit to this Asian town. So right now I'm looking for the interviews, some of the tourists that came here. So now let's go! So this is the first time you come here, right?
Yeah.
So I would have a few questions to ask you. Is that what do you like about this place in Da Nang in general?
In Hoi An Da Nang or in Vietnam?
Hoi An.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think the historical houses are very beautiful.
Yeah. And also like there's lots of shops that can, you know, like to describe like the folklore way of what people expect of Vietnam, for example the lantern, etc. So it's nice to see like efforts.
We find a homestay. Host is a local. I think that's a part of the experience. She have her home here in Hoi An since a long time with her parents, so she can help us with.
It's really interesting. So, what about the food? Do you guys like it?
Yeah, lots. Actually, we tried yesterday night.
Kolo?
Kaolo, yeah,
This
street food.
It's a kind of noodle soup, right?
Yeah, it's noodle soup, and it was in the street, just
like
someone.
street food,
yeah, like street food. And I think we are gonna eat the same thing today. It was very good.
Okay, so thank you. This is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for your time. I will have like a small gift to give you guys. It's nothing much. It's food. It's candy.
Nice, thanks a lot.
We love trying different snacks in country visits. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice trip.
Yeah, have a nice day too.
Have a nice trip. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Thực.
Phúc?
But I have an English name to you. Finn.
Yeah,
Nice.
Phineas.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
What's yours?
I'm Wong.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Yes.
I'm Alex.
Okay.
And you
Nice to meet
and
you.
you are living in Da Nang?
No, I'm also a tourist like you guys, but
Okay.
I'm living in Ho Chi Minh City.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
We were in Ho Chi
We
Minh.
went, we fall in love with Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, like the.
You guys live?
No, but
we want to live there actually.
yeah.
So,
Where are you from?
France.
Coffee everywhere. Yeah, it was so nice.
I really like you guys like Ho Chi Minh City.
And you live there for your studies?
No, I've been living there for since ever I was born.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
I
Okay,
was
okay.
born in my home country, by the
Okay.
way, but I moved to Ho Chi Minh City when I was
Okay.
like an infant.
Very good.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, because where were you from before, you mean? Like, where
Your
were you born?
parents.
I lived in the western side of Vietnam.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Yeah.
And then I moved back to Ho Chi Minh City to live in our home in Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay, nice.
So cool.
This is like a traditional for us. Like so when my mom gets pregnant, she has to go back to her home country to get into labor, and then she will move back into Ho Chi Minh City, where
Okay,
her
that's fun.
husband.
Oh yeah, that was kind of the same thing. We met a girl, but it was in
where was it?
Indonesia.
Yeah.
It was in Indonesia, and we met a girl, and she just give birth, and she explained us the same thing.
Like her mother came by to just help her, and then she came back to
Yeah.
like the place where she lived. So it's funny.
Nice.
The next morning, we departed Da Nang and headed back to Nha Trang. It was quite a long trip. We were heading to Nha Trang Oceanography Institute, located about 6 kilometers from the center of Nha Trang, Thanh Hoa Province, Vietnam. Upon arriving, it wasn't really crowded at the place even though it was Sunday. At this place, we learned a lot about different types of ocean species and seeing them in the fish tank. It even had some of my favorite marine species such as pufferfish, sharks, ray, and clownfish. Somewhere deep down inside me, that 8-year-old me still got really excited whenever I see weird-looking fish. Then we headed to a large building at the back of the institute where it contained numerous samples of ocean species and microscopic marine life. I was amazed at how diverse our ocean really is, and I was way more amazed by the fact that oceanologists can study and collect these samples and brought it to the land to continue to study about it and let people see how spectacular our ocean really is. The next morning, we headed to Emperor Baodai's second palace in Dalat. It was a sunny and bright day, so I was in a really good mood. We got to visit some of the rooms in the palace where the emperor and the empress used to live, and the atmosphere around the place was very clear as there were a lot of trees and a whole flower garden in front of the palace. Then we got to the Dalat train station. We didn't stay there for long, so I didn't get to record anything much. In the evening, we arrived at Indomont de Marie Church. I was intrigued by the pastel pink color of the church, so I took some photos of it. Near dawn, we came to Lambiang Peak. It was pretty cold around this time already, so next time, if you visit this place, please remember to wear a lot of coats and warm clothes. We took a cheap ride to the peak. When we got there, the views were so breathtaking that I couldn't resist sprinting towards them and took some photos, and I can say that I wasn't disappointed at all. On the last day of the trip, we paid a visit to Druplam Buddhist Monastery. The weather was quite warm in the morning that day. It was strange, since it was usually quite cold. When we got to the temple, the atmosphere was so peaceful that it's just what I needed. And this is the end of my field trip. I must say this trip was the most fun I've ever had in quite some time. I hope you guys had a good time watching my small vlog, and I really appreciate it. But for now, it's time to say goodbye.